Welcome to the Conquer Risk podcast. Hey, Manish, I've got a little caveat that I have to start with before we get rolling on the podcast, and that is,
Spiders.
yeah, pretty much. So I'm outdoors. I'm actually going to try and record this time. A storm got in the way last time, but while I was testing today, the same spider jumped on my leg. Yeah. So
Christopher's gonna have a field day with this.
if I if I jump up and run away, and you hear me having a hissy fit, you'll know why, and then just pause, and I'll be back. So on that note, the topic today is actually day trading, and at least one of the topics is we're going to touch on. And I thought this was kind of came to the forefront from the standpoint of I'm here at the RV park, and one of the guys next to me comes over. We start having a little chat. And, one of the common questions in an RV park is, oh, well, what do you do for a living? Especially if they figure out you're working full time. And this particular person is was doing a full-time job, and then he started day trading. And that's basically what he does now. So he, his wife, and little kid are out here at the park, and that's, it's like that's their thing. He's like, yeah, I don't do a lot. He's like, maybe I trade a couple times a day. Maybe I go a week without trading. It's like, he's not like I don't want to be tied to the damn thing. I was like, okay, now this is brilliant. He's seen, we started talking. He had a process in place, and that's, you and I agree. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, but if you've got a process, stick to it. And for him, it was, can I do this? Can I make money? And can I not be tied to the desk like I was when I worked? Mm-hmm. So that was a little. I thought that was a little interesting story on the forefront. But look, let's hit the bones here. A few months ago, we addressed in one of our podcasts the race to zero back in season 1.
Hey, that was actually like a year ago, by the way. I think now, isn't it? We're already at August.
Well, yeah, bro, you're right. It was. Wow. So a year ago. Wow, time's flying. We had this podcast. One of the things. Oh, okay. So hold on. Spider, you think I'm kidding? He's on my hand. Un momento, por favor.
You need to stick to recording this inside.
Okay.
All right.
Breath. Okay, so anyway, we get back to task. One of the things we talked about was, the dropping of commissions on stocks and ETFs and those sorts of things, right? And would that cause a difference in the trading style? Would that get in the way or remove a hesitancy of trading? And so we thought we'd hit some of these. So Manish, let's start this. I mean, when it comes to the good, bad, and ugly of day trading and some of the things you're seeing in the marketplace, what are your thoughts?
It's like the kids are back in control. There's a lot of reasons you can point to. Fed, people at home, the increase in some of these cheaper stocks. But Robinhood has come up as a vehicle for some of the younger kids who are investing, or more retail. So I pulled a couple stocks, the top stocks in August, which, by the way, Robinhood releases the top stocks, but they stopped. I think as of recently, they decided not to release that data through their API. So anyway, just a couple stocks that came up that I think are hilarious. Like number one, Moderna. Obviously, people are in tune with what's going on with vaccine development, but there's hundreds of companies that are involved in this. But whoever hits the news first, Moderna is a popular stock from Robinhood. NIO. Anyone know what NIO is? And neither did I until I looked at it. It's an electric car company. The next one.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Here's a funnier one. The next one is called Spartan Energy Corp. And Spartan Energy Corp, actually, there was a reverse merger with a company called Fisker, which I don't know if
Fisker.
you recall. Yeah, it's an electric car company that initially went bankrupt in 2013. And now they came back to do a reverse merger with a energy holding company, and the stock started taking off. The next one, this will bring back memories, although now it's for a different reason, is Eastman Kodak. And when you and I think of Kodak, we think of what they actually do, right? Development, pictures, whatever the hell they are anymore. And that's come to light recently. And, you saw the news, right, about Kodak and what was it, like 1,900% surge?
Yeah, well, I think it got up to 22 or 2300 at one point. Of course, it's backed off from that. I looked yesterday, and it had backed off considerably. But still, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous in the scheme of things. The CEO is on doing interviews claiming, well, but we've been a chemical company for 100 years, and whatever other excuses they want to make. Look, to me, I got to be honest, man. It just looks like shenanigans going on.
Well, hold on. So this is
Yeah.
Christopher can throw this in the show notes. There's Ben Hunt does Epsilon Theory, which I read a lot, and so the day before that this loan was granted, keep in mind there was a loan granted to Kodak by the U.S. government for the future task of developing pharmaceutical ingredients. Kodak has never done anything remotely close to pharmaceuticals. And so they're granting this loan for a future promise to develop. The day before this happens, there's $50 million worth of stock options given. They're not even trying to hide the shenanigans anymore. And so that's kind of the point here is like all these crazy stock rallies, and there's always some nutcase story that goes along with it. Here's another one that's even crazier. Wayfair. Everyone knows Wayfair, and yes, maybe the stock's rallying because people are doing home remodels and things like that. It's up 910% since the March 17 lows. Here's another nutty story that goes along with it. They were actually accused of child sex trafficking because someone unearthed where there was a curtain or a vanity that should sell for $1,000 or $100. And in reality, on the site, it was selling for like $10,000 or $15,000, and some people were. There's some allegations around that the increased price was attached to that. Now, look, I have no idea if it's actually true or not, but that's not the point. The point is that the times we're living in, with some of these extraordinary increases in stock prices, and some of the ridiculous stories that go with it. Things like Nikola. Which is another electric car company that, has nothing. They have no revenue. They have nothing. It's just a promise to make future cars, and these stocks are going haywire on it. So I don't know. What do you think about all this?
I'll be glad to take a $500 million check to make something in the future.
Yeah,
be more than happy to do so. Look, it's like I say.
Well, hold on. Why? What are your 2 cents? Why? What's going on?
So I think a lot of this has to do with, and again, this sort of starts with where we left off last time, which is there's always this hope. Everybody wants to hit the home run, right? I'm a baseball guy. So as a kid growing up, look, I never dreamed of getting a bunt single in the World Series. Nobody does, right? You want to crank that bad boy and do a bat flip. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mentality of a lot of these crazy stock situations, is that people are hoping, praying, given a fair shot to let me throw some money at it and see if we can hit a home run. And I personally, I think it's odds are higher the home run hitters strike out more than anybody. And you got to be willing to strike out a lot, and that's fine. But I just think it's ridiculous, some of these prices. And
I don't blame them though. I don't blame them. It's tempting. I mean, as a money manager, I got to admit. I mean, we don't do any of that stuff, but it's tempting when you hear stories. It's exotic. It's sexy. I can buy something for 50 cents and become a trillionaire in a week.
Well, better yet, just start buying options.
Yeah, right. We'll get to that. But so this, our podcast is for financial advisors, and I wrote this in a recent commentary where I said the biggest challenge for financial advisors now is the comparison factor. And what I mean by that is a client coming in saying, my buddy of mine has Apple, Amazon, Tesla. Why do you have me in the Vanguard Balanced portfolio or the American Funds Growth? What are these things? Why can't we go after these stocks? So I think there's going to be a challenge for some advisors to rein in that craziness.
Yeah, and in the scheme of things, I think now more than ever, and this is part of what we do in the podcast, you're right, is bring some of these things to the forefront, because as an advisor, when you're having client meetings day after day after day, whether that now be via Zoom or whatever, right, it's easy to sort of miss some of the things that are going on. Sorry, as I knock off. Yeah, I should probably do these indoors from now on. but now more than ever, I think is the time to have a good financial advisor. And what I mean by that may mean that they're directing traffic for everything. And if you want to be that dude or that gal that wants to play with, throwing money to the wind and trying to hit a home run, great. Take 5% of your assets and go have fun. Go open up an E-Trade account or a Robinhood account or whatever and go play with it. But don't let this be the time where you say, you know what? I can do it myself, and I can go like gangbusters. You need a financial advisor. So financial advisors should be aware of that.
Those people that are knee deep in this, they're not going to use a financial advisor.
Yeah.
They're done. The only thing that's going to teach them is getting their ass handed to them, and it's fine. You got to have both sides of transactions, and so maybe they're right. Maybe you and I will be the dumb ones as they continue to make money left and right. I mean, time will tell. I don't want to be that old guy that's yelling at the kids for buying Tesla stock.
Great googly moogly.
Yeah, make your money, man. Manish loved the kids. And so no issues there. What else is going on?
Yeah. Well, I think this lends itself, though, to part of this, or kind of a subset of this discussion is, does diversification really work? And without going too deep in that, it's just the concept that, as financial advisors in our industry, most have been taught that, you got to have a little bit of everything, right? And the S&P isn't your benchmark and all these things, and this is the battle that we fight. As we move forward, though, and look at what I started the podcast with, which is what are some of the holdbacks, or is there actually more trading? Maybe we're just seeing, and the reason I say this, maybe we're just seeing spikes in a few sort of hot stocks, but overall trading isn't actually up, right? You're just seeing a couple of headlines. And I thought this might be worthwhile to look at commission-free trades. I want to read this so I get it exact. Just looked at a report from I guess it's been a couple of months now, found one that said for the first quarter, I haven't seen a report on this for the second quarter yet, TDA trading up 144%. E-Trade up 129. Schwab was up 98 and Interactive Brokers was up 72. So clearly, whether it be the market environment, which might be, you could say that's to blame, or the fact that it doesn't cost anybody to trade. Trading is up.
It's the perfect storm of degenerate gambling, and so you have
you are spot on, brother.
I mean, look, you have no commissions. You have, in some cases, on the retail side, fractional shares. You have no sports, which means there's a lot of single men out there who have nothing to do, and you also have stimulus checks going out, and all of that happens in a 3-month period, and so this is all hindsight, right? Of course, if we knew this was going to happen 3 months ago, we'd buy some of these things. But I think it's just a perfect storm of that stuff coming together.
Well, I'm going to blame you. The whole damn millennial group. You're the first to buy the cruise lines.
I'm on the edge, man.
Kidding.
Don't put me in that stuff.
I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I think it's great. Look, if somebody's got some extra cash and they want to throw at one of these things, I drove by the Nashville airport doing something else the other day, and there were 3 cars in the parking lot. Now, you tell me, how many airlines are going to succeed if that's the status quo?
No,
but anyway,
all right. Money. We'll move on.
We'll move on. All right, so what else we got?
Well, I mean, about diversification and that side of it for advisors, I think before we move on to something interesting about the coin shortage, the cycles come and go. I think advisors just have to stay true to preaching diversification. You look foolish from time to time, and people look at you like you have no idea what you're talking about. But it eventually does help when it comes to risk management, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So coin shortage? I have no. I mean, I know you put this on the docket for today, and I have no idea what you're talking about. But
I did. I just thought this was an interesting little tidbit that I had heard it sort of anecdotally. I don't know if I even said that right along the way over the last month or two. And we started to see, I've seen a few signs at a few businesses, and now it's gotten to the point where then this is what brought it to my kind of the attention to make me do a little bit more research. A couple of Chick-fil-A restaurants franchises have now been offering not all of them, but some of them are offering a $10 bill for $10 in rolled coin and a free sandwich. So I thought it was funny that they limited it at 10. So some knucklehead that's got like 47 jars of coins at home isn't going to have sandwiches for the next year. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. Get $10 and a sandwich. I mean, hey, what a better deal? But this really revolves around the fact that again, you look at different factors like how many cars are in the parking lot at a particular business or an industry. Well, this goes to the fact that the people are not using cash, and there isn't as much cyclical spending going on. You know, the consumers are not out there in the normal droves, and therefore there's random amounts of coinage flowing through from pocket back to vendor, and then vendor back to pocket. People get change like I do, and I throw it in a bucket until I can take it and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, it now costs, just for the record, it costs the Fed 2 cents to make a penny.
Is that what the new one? Yeah, I haven't heard that.
I mean, so, you know, do you want them making more? I mean, personally, I'm...
Well, hold on. Can I interject? I want to interject something,
go for
because I have always stated, which I have now learned is a very elitist stance. I've always stated, like, what's the point of cash? You know, like, who cares? Like, just credit, you know, electronic. And someone corrected me, which I appreciate, when he said, look, there's a large majority of America that's unbanked, and they don't have bank accounts. They don't have Venmo on your iPhone, and they rely on cash and coins. And I just, you know, I never thought of it from that angle. And so as much as I would like to see cash and coins go away, there has to be another push to get those folks to in the banking system.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think it was Tyrone Ross, to throw some credit out there. He's making a big educational push, and certainly I want to see if there's a way that we can continue to help in that mode. But yeah, from that standpoint, I didn't realize it until I saw a post from him about the fact that yes, it was a crazy at the volume of people I didn't realize that weren't essentially in the banking system. And so, yeah, you're right. I would agree with you. I fall into that category. I felt pretty elitist when I was like, yeah, I've always been, dude, just, you know, do Apple Pay, do credit card, do, you know, whatever. And the reality is we're just not there as a society. We need to do some work to help get this taken care of. But, you know, without going too deep in there, the reality is we do have a coin shortage. It is something that there is now actually a Fed task force to deal with the coin shortage, which is pretty funny when you think about it. Of all the problems in the world, you know, that's apparently a biggie. So
yeah,
that's it. There's no big summation. It's just a matter of, again, part of our process is to bring, especially podcasts like this one, because what are some of the hot topics out there? What are some of the things that are going on that maybe you haven't had a chance to catch yet?
Cool.
So any other thoughts there?
No, nothing.
All right. What you got for a recommendation?
Well, since we're in pandemic times here, let me see what it is. It's called the Gata Pack mask. And so I have young kids, and to start, we got, you know, Frozen and Mickey Mouse masks that, you know, just to encourage them to wear it more when we went out and look cool and all that stuff. But they're not actual quality. They fall off their ears. It's hard to stay on. So Gata Pack, someone recommended. They have the straps that you can loosen and tighten, and they're snug around your ear. And you can get filters that you can replace, and they're pretty phenomenal. If you have kids or you know that won't put them on or try to take them off, you can get them pretty snug in there, and they'll stay on. So it's
cool.
I have no idea what it costs. My wife bought it for me, but Christopher can throw it in the show notes. They fit great, and I think they're a good buy.
All right, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll make mine pretty quick. I probably should have done reverse. In a podcast already, I've mentioned some rollerblade wheels for the new chair that I got, but frankly, I should be talking about the new chair that I got because I made the mistake of buying a cheap chair, cheap, I don't know, it was a couple $100, and it lasted all of 6 months. So the Workpro, God, I gotta get this right. Yeah, Workpro 9000 chairs. Yeah, I mean, it's. I got it off. You can get it off of Amazon, but pretty much everybody's about the same cost, around $400. I picked mine up from Office Depot so that I could actually just go over and get it, which of course you made fun of me for doing so. But I got it that night when my other chair was broken, so it was sort of an immediate need.
You also got the warranty, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but go ahead. I think that's showing your age. Who the hell pays for those things anymore?
They threw the warranty. Yeah, it's like $7. Well, you know what? Since I just had one that broke that fast, I thought, why not? $7.
Well, can I tell you
Usually
something?
I'm not a warranty guy.
So my buddy used
What?
to work at Circuit City, and they would sell these any types of obviously electronics and whatnot. I don't know if you know about Circuit City, but the warranty, they were trained to push the warranty because that's where they made all their commission and money. And so maybe it's worth it, but it's always been in my head to just say no to all those. But
yeah, well, for what it's worth, back in the day, I when I first got out of college, I did a dual task. I worked at the bank full time, and then I also worked at Best Buy. So I went through that same exact process as Circuit City, and I was adding another 20, 30 hours a week there. So I know all about the warranties, and like I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm not taking it. But for $6 or $7, I was like, you know what?
Why not? All right. So do you like the chair? I mean,
yeah, actually, I do. The only thing that I would wish that you could tilt the bottom back a little bit, because I like to sort of feel like I'm setting down in it. But I mean, minus that, it is great. Great adjustment, very comfortable. It's got a sort of a cushiony feel. So I mean, you don't feel like you're sitting on a brick. But yeah, it has several different adjustments to it to get to the point where you're comfy in the chair, and it seems to work great. So anyway, on that note, I guess we are done for the day. You got anything else, brother?
That's it. Have a good one.
All right, peace.